These two water filter pitchers cost about the same. $42. $35. Close enough that most people just pick the one they like the look of. But over a year, one of them costs about $60 to run, and the other one can cost over $800. Same shelf, same week. Nothing on either box tells you which is which. I'm going to rank every type of water filter by what it actually costs you per year. Pitcher, faucet mount, under sink, reverse osmosis, whole house. And I'll show you the one number that decides your answer, because it isn't the price of the filter. It's your own tap water. No sponsors on this one, no affiliate links, nothing to sell you. Just the arithmetic, with the sources on screen. Here's the thing every filter company understands, and most buyers don't. The pitcher isn't the product. The cartridge is. The pitcher is sold roughly at cost, once. The cartridge is sold to you forever. So the only honest way to compare a $20 pitcher to a $2,000 whole house system is to stop looking at the purchase price and start looking at two numbers. What it costs per gallon of water you actually drink and what that adds up to in a year. Before any numbers, one assumption, out in the open. Everything here assumes 1 gallon of drinking and cooking water a day, 365 gallons a year. If your household drinks twice that, double every figure. This is why cost guides disagree with each other by 300%, by the way. They all used different usage assumptions, and most of them never tell you what theirs is. Start with the ordinary carbon pitcher. A Brita Elite filter is rated for 120 gallons and costs about $20. At our gallon a day, that's 3 filters a year. $61. 17 cents a gallon. And here's the important part for later. Carbon doesn't strip dissolved minerals. So this filter's life doesn't really care what your water is like. 120 gallons in New York. 120 gallons in Phoenix. A faucet mount sits in the same neighborhood. About 100 gallons a cartridge. $25 to $35 a go. Call it 100 to 130 a year. But there's a catch the rating hides. That 100 gallons is everything that goes through the tap, including the water you run rinsing dishes. So the gallons you actually drink per cartridge are fewer, and your real cost per gallon is higher than the box implies. Undersink carbon is where the maths gets friendlier. Bigger cartridge, once or twice a year, and it only treats the drinking tap. Reverse osmosis and whole house systems flip the shape entirely. Big upfront cost, then a maintenance bill that's surprisingly flat. Filters, a couple of times a year, a membrane every few years. Independent estimates put whole house upkeep somewhere between $100 and $400 a year, depending on the system, spread across the gallons you actually drink. The running cost per gallon often lands below the cheap pitcher you were comparing it to. That's the inversion. The thing that looked expensive on the shelf is frequently the cheapest thing to own. So that's the ranking. Except it isn't. Quite. Because there's one type of filter whose cost isn't fixed at all. And if you own one, the number on that chart might be nothing like your number. A TDS filter, the kind that strips dissolved solids, doesn't wear out on a schedule. It wears out on a workload. The more dissolved minerals in your tap water, the faster it clogs. Which means the filter has a different price in every city in America. This isn't my theory, it's how the filter is designed. Zero Water's own FAQ says it plainly. Filter life depends on the amount of dissolved solids in your tap water. They rate it at up to 40 gallons with normal use, and they tell you to replace it when your meter reads 6. Their published chart puts water at 271 dissolved solids. At 25 gallons, And independent testing in harder water than that reports single digits. Same cartridge. Same price. A fraction of the water. So let's use two real cities. New York City's 2025 water quality report puts its dissolved solids at 73 milligrams per liter. Genuinely soft water. Las Vegas publishes its own summary. 591. Now, I want to flag something here. 3 different filter websites told me Las Vegas was 642, 546, and 304. All 3 disagree with the Water District's own document. This is why we read the report, not the article about the report. Run those 2 numbers through the manufacturer's own bands. In New York, that cartridge gives you about 40 gallons, roughly 38 cents a gallon. In Las Vegas, somewhere between 5 and 8 gallons, which puts it between $1.88 and $3 a gallon. And that matters because of this line. Bottled water averages about $1.22 a gallon. In Las Vegas, that filter pitcher can cost more per gallon than buying the bottled water it was supposed to replace. Now, the counterweight, because this cuts both ways. That same filter is stripping a lot more out of hard water than a carbon filter would. You're getting something for the money. And in a soft water city, it's genuinely inexpensive. The problem isn't the product. The problem is that it's sold at one price with one rated life to people whose water makes that rating meaningless. Nobody is lying to you. They're just quoting an average that might have nothing to do with your house. Which brings me to the number that outranks everything on this chart. A filter's job isn't to be cheap. It's to remove the specific thing that's actually in your water. And that's set by its certification, not its price. 42 means taste and odor. 53 means health contaminants. Lead, cysts, some of the ones you actually worry about. 401 covers emerging contaminants. If the thing in your water isn't in the filter's certification, then your cost per gallon is irrelevant. You're paying, in full, for nothing. So here's how to get your own number. In about 30 seconds. Find your dissolved solids figure. It's in your utility's annual water quality report. And if they don't publish it, a TDS meter costs about $15 and gives you the real answer for your tap, today. Take that number to the manufacturer's own filter life guidance. Divide the cartridge price by the gallons you'll genuinely get. Then, and only then, compare it to the certification you actually need. The cheapest filter isn't the cheapest filter. It's the one that removes what's in your water for the fewest dollars per gallon in your house. Every number in this video came from a utility report or a manufacturer's own documentation, and they're all listed in the description. If you want the full cost table, it's on the site. Free, no sign up. And tell me your city in the comments. The reports we read line by line come from that list.